Hello, I'm Autistic Tea, I'm autistic, I drink tea, and I talk about things. And today I'll be talking about Love is Blind, Season 2, Episode 2. Friends, whānau, besties, the worst thing that could possibly happen happened. Natalie goes back to Shane. No! Girl, why? Why did you do that to me? She is really upset. She cut off things with him because obviously you would. That was the right thing to do. But then she goes back and she's like, you really annoyed me, but I think that's okay. It's like, no, he didn't annoy you. He hurt you. He broke your heart, and then he tried to manipulate you into forgiving him because he tried to manipulate you into thinking that it wasn't a big deal, but it was a big deal. He lied to you, and then he lies again. He lies again to her. He says, I want to focus just on you. Will you be my girlfriend? And she's like, yay! Even though this is the dating show where you have to propose. So him saying, will you be my girlfriend, is actually not that big of a deal. Interesting. Ooh. And I made the mistake of showing season 2 episode 1 to my mum because I thought we could just laugh at it, but I forgot how, and it had been so much time that I forgot just how triggered and angry I was when Shane gaslit Natalie. And like, let's be clear, that's directly what he did. His tactics were abusive and manipulative, and you could tell from his body language that like he did not care about her feelings. He was just trying to salvage the situation for himself, and it really upset my mum. And I felt so bad about it. And she pointed out something that like logically I know, but I'm so used to reality TV and people talking about reality TV, and I know about like all the crap that comes out about The Bachelor and Married at First Sight, about how they like deliberately put people into difficult situations, not giving them water, not letting them go to the bathroom, bringing psychologists in that say don't put these two people together, and then putting those two people together, you know. So like the fact that this happened on reality TV was not that big of a surprise to me, but she was just like, why did they keep this man? Why did they let her go back when he did that? They should have kicked him out. They should have kicked him off the TV show. And yeah, she's right. He shouldn't have been allowed access to other people once he displayed abusive behavior. He should have been removed. There should be psychologists on site. There should be someone in charge who can recognize when someone is a poisonous influence. But that's not what happened. So here we are. So that's just I could go on and I could go on, but let's just summarize it as this is not going to end well. I have only watched halfway through episode 3. I really want to keep my opinions fresh for each episode. However, Jarvis Johnson has one about all of season 2, and I want to watch it so bad. So I have to make these videos really, really quickly. So then Shayna finds out that, because Natalie comes in, she's like, he asked me to be his girlfriend, woo! And no one's like, why? Like they don't show us. Maybe some other women did, but like they don't show us any of the other women going, what? You went back? Don't do that. Oh. So, worrying. And Shayna's like, okay, so I'm not going to take that. And then she talks to Shane and she's like, so did you ask Natalie to be your girlfriend? And he tries to do the same shit with her. He's like, why does it matter? What does it matter? Can't we just move on? I love these questions. Like,
why do you care about that? She knows that I'm talking to you.
Oh, manipulative. Oh, I hate him so much. And she's like, no, did you ask? And he says, yes, I asked her to be my girlfriend.
I'm sorry. I guess.
And he's like, oh, does that change things now? Is that like a deal breaker for you? And she's like, yeah, actually.
I still adore you.
I hope so.
And so Shane's terrible, and I hate him, and I hate that he's still on the show. And anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to Shake and Deepti. Deeps, as he calls her, which is kind of cute. Yeah, another straight up like toxic man. Like, he comes into the we're not going to care about looks show and is immediately like, hey, what do you look like? Bro, mate. But he does have a moment of vulnerability with Deepti, and maybe Shane, maybe I've been like set up from the previous scenes with Shane, but to me, just because someone shows vulnerability, again, maybe my own experience is coloring this opinion, but just because someone shows vulnerability does not mean that they're ready to change toxic behaviors, and it is not as big of a step as you might think. Like, Deepti is like, I've been waiting for you to show vulnerability. She's like, thank you so much for sharing that with me, which is the appropriate response. Like, if someone is vulnerable with you, you like, thank you for sharing that with me. Thank you for trusting me with that, you know, all that jazz. But she seems to think that that is a breakthrough, and I do not think that in and of itself is enough of a breakthrough to look past negative behaviors and toxic traits.
Maybe I have more demons in this department than I thought.
People can genuinely share a vulnerability but not necessarily want to change. So they can go right back, but because they shared that vulnerability, you're more likely to forgive them. And that's, I'm not saying that's what Shake is doing on purpose. I'm not saying that he is manipulative. I think it was a genuine moment of sharing and genuine moment of reflection. But like I've said about myself a lot, self-awareness is not self-improvement. This is my own mantra to myself when I find myself falling back into, well, I know what the problem is, therefore it's fine. It's like, actually knowing your vulnerabilities, knowing your negative traits, knowing the problem is not itself self-improvement. That's a step. It's certainly a step, and it is a huge and important step, but it is one of many steps. It is right at the beginning of the journey. So I wouldn't be as confident as Deepti is in this being, you know, the beginning of change, or the sign that, you know, this is going to be really positive, because he has vulnerabilities about his own body. He clearly has body issues of his own, which I think is important to share. Men do have body issues about weight and stuff, and oftentimes they go untalked about. And she herself has lost a lot of weight, and it is likely she will put that weight on again. Most people who lose a lot of weight will often put that weight back on, for various reasons, because a lot of, like, you know, diet culture is simply not sustainable, and I don't think people should put that much pressure on themselves. Fat people are real people. Like, they're real human beings with real human feelings, and they should be treated with respect and dignity, just like everyone else, regardless of their weight, regardless of the impact of that weight on their health. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. And I think sometimes people so much pressure on themselves because they feel that fat is inherently unhealthy, which is not necessarily true. They feel that fat is inherently ugly, which is definitely not true. That is, it's unhealthy, and she will put down that weight again. Probably she may not, you know, but it is likely that she will. And if she's in a relationship with someone who feels that weight is inherently bad, I feel like unless he really really works on that, and if she may feel the pressure to keep that weight off, even if it's negatively impacting her mental health. I see the potential for a negative dynamic, and I see potential for a negative dynamic in a lot of things, because it's kind of my jam. This mug used to belong to my grandma. She had one that says old tart, and granddad had one saying old fart, but his broke, so she doesn't want this one anymore. So now I have it. and I shall age into it.
I've never met someone who seems to understand me the way you do.
I do appreciate that they have a genuine connection, and especially I think from a cultural perspective, a shared culture can be really important for a relationship. There are definitely like shared beliefs, shared fundamentals that I think are important for a relationship. You can have like differences of culture. Obviously, I am in an interracial relationship, an intercultural relationship, but there's a lot of like core beliefs about the world, about people, about life that me and my partner share or complement each other. That I think is really important. So I think if Deepti and Shake share that together, I think that is really important, and that I pointed out one aspect that could turn toxic, but that is not necessarily the case. That's like a worst case scenario. But again, they're being pushed into this very rushed feeling. So anyway, they get engaged.
And 1,000 times yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Oh, I totally forgot to mention Nick and Danielle. They get to see each other. It's very cute. I know that I don't believe that they're in love, but it is very cute when they see each other, and he's like, "You're beautiful," and she says, "You're beautiful," and I'm so pro telling men that they're beautiful. I tell my partner he is beautiful, he is handsome, he is pretty. Oh,
I like the sax.
That's my dog.
I figured, oh, he's cute.
He's been looking for a mommy for a long time, and now he's
Well,
finally got one.
He's got one.
so I just wanted to say they see each other, it's cute, and Deepti and Shake get together. Do they see each other this episode? Hang on. I have it on my computer now. Shush. Actually, that does remind me. Can we talk about the music in the show and how they have like 3, maybe 4 lines from so many pop songs in each episode, and they are like so on the nose. There was like in episode 1, they had the like I'm a troublemaker, which was like didn't actually like didn't come to anything. Nothing happened with her being a troublemaker. And this time they had like after Natalie said, "Oh, Shane made me his girlfriend," they played "Are you ready for war?" over Shayna, but like she didn't do any war. She just backed out. She was like, "Okay, cool." And I think that was a mature thing to do. I don't think me and Shayna would be friends, but I do appreciate that she did the mature thing in this instance, which was like he has stated his interest in another woman. She clearly cares about him. I will back out for my own heart and also to reduce complications. So I think that was the wise choice to make. Good for you, Shayna. But who is in charge of this music? Oh my god, lay off just a little bit. Anyway, so Ayana and Garrett have a very difficult to talk. They share some very traumatic things that happened to them. And that's really beautiful. That's really I don't know the specific word I'm looking for, but it's like it's vulnerable, it's terrifying, it's brave from both of them. They both shared something very vulnerable about them. And they're two like, traumatized people. Although Ayana says, "My heart has healed, but my body remembers," and I get that. I really feel that. But it's very, very soon for Garrett, and that could go both ways. If they were in a relationship together, it could be very healing to have someone who understands the kind of difficulties that come with trauma, or it could be very difficult because you're both traumatized people, and you might not have the capacity to take care of the other person in the same way that a non-traumatized person would. And I say that as a traumatized person. When I was very, very mentally unwell with my PTSD, my undiagnosed PTSD, I wasn't in the space to deal with anyone else's mental health problems. I needed a partner who had their stuff together, really, because I didn't. And That's not the case for every person. That was my personal experience, and it's certainly worked out. You know, I now have my stuff together. I am seeking to get my stuff together. And so, yeah, it's one of those. Who's to say? Oh yeah, the cultural thing. So Deepti says that in Indian culture, during the marriage, the woman touches the man's feet. She's not having any of that because she wants to be equals, which it's her culture. She gets to decide. And so when Shake sees her for the first time, they do see each other in this episode, and you know, obviously he's blown away by how gorgeous she is because he has like really high standards for people, and he's probably was like building up that she was going to be like ugly, but was like, I'm ready for this. But like, she's stunning. She is gorgeous. So he's like, oh my god.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Hi.
Which I don't think is helpful. I don't think it's actually helpful. That's why I was like criticizing that they didn't have any average looking people. I mean, my mom's a little crueler, and she's like, nah. Oh, she's gorgeous. She thinks most of the women are beautiful, but most of the men aren't. And of course, there's Shane, who is a terrifying robot person who consumes human souls, but he's a terrible person on the inside, so we can be mean about his outside. That's not actually true. Once you make fun of people's appearance, it trickles down to everyone who has that appearance. But like, no one looks like Shane. No one looks like Shane. It's not his physical appearance so much as what he's doing with his face. You know, like, I too could look like a scary mannequin that eats people's souls, like this. See? I'm doing it. And my face is relatively normal. I would say this is an average face. So, you know, it's not about your features so much as what you do with them when it comes to Shane. And so I don't think it helps when everyone is very attractive to be like, oh, love is blind, because when they see each other, they're like, oh, you're beautiful. Like, of course they're going to say that. They're all beautiful.
You did not just do that.
I'll do it for you.
Anyway, Shake touches her feet, and it's cute. It's cute because, you know, it references something she had said before. And I think like paying attention to that, and it really touched her, and I think that was lovely. I thought that was quite nice. I did, yes, I did. Willy wobbly fun. Oh, I have not been pausing for the drill noises. I hope my camera's not good enough to pick up on them, but if it is, sorry about that. Okay, so this okay, so I have been other than the Shane thing, which is just straight up black and white, he's a terrible person and I hate him. I've been trying to give the benefit of the doubt to most relationships. I've been going like, there are pros and cons to each. It really depends on the people and their willingness to like work on problems, yada yada yada. However, I am not going to double-side it on this one. This is a straight up, this is a bad idea, and it is going to end badly. And genuinely, I cannot wait to see that, because like the two people involved, it doesn't have to do with trauma, as far as I know. Hopefully not, otherwise I'll feel like a terrible person. It's just a bad choice. It's just a bad choice. They both know it's a bad choice, but they made the choice anyway. So it's like, ooh, when it combusts, I guess I don't feel as bad. So that make me a terrible person, or is that why people watch these things? Or are we all terrible people? So Shayna, having moved on from Shane, good choice, well done, is talking to Kyle. And Kyle, you know, he has a construction business. He didn't go to uni. She grew up with construction dads, I think. Construction dad and brothers and stuff. They're all in construction. And she didn't go to uni. it's like they're like, oh cool, and they really appreciate each other's like conversation and intellect and things like that, and he really enjoys talking to her, and she likes that he gives her affirmation. And she does say, what woman wouldn't enjoy that? And I think, yeah, who wouldn't want to be with someone who genuinely knows and cares about you? And I think that's really part of why people often stay in unhappy relationships, because we often think that a relationship has to be terrible in order to break it. But you know, you can just be different people. You can just not be that satisfied, and it doesn't have to be like the end of the world to break up. Um, she says, having waited 4 years to break up with an abusive boyfriend. Look, some of us have to make the bad choices so that the rest of you can learn from our mistakes, okay? So I can see why Shayna is, you know, drawn to Kyle, even though she clearly does not feel as strongly. She does not feel as strongly for him. And so when he proposes,
Yes.
she doesn't immediately say yes. She seems to like and ah about it, and she looks really pained when she says yes, and she seems really unsure about it. And that is because there is a huge fundamental difference in beliefs between them. Remember earlier in the video when I said about like fundamental like core beliefs about the world, life, people, relationships, yada yada yada, that should generally align between the two or more people in that relationship. I guess that was foreshadowing. It wasn't intentional. I'm just brilliant. She asks him about faith and if faith is important to him. And he beats around the bush, because when someone asks you, is faith important to you, they're not asking you because it's not important to them. So he's like, my mum was really religious. And she's like, great, awesome. Faith is so important to me because she is a Christian. And then he's like, I'm an atheist. Oof. Okay, so that is a difference of a very fundamental difference of belief that is not reconcilable. It is not reconcilable. Okay, you cannot tell me different. Okay, there is no way that two people can have intimate an intimate life connection relationship. Okay, I'm not just talking about friends. I have Christian friends, Muslim friends, Jewish friends. It's like, I'm not talking about friends. I am talking about the type of commitment that is similar to what marriage involves. You know, you are sharing your life very intimately. You are planning on having children and raising those children together. One of you can't be a Christian, one of you can't be an atheist. Like, one of you can't believe in God and one of you not believe in God. I'm sorry, it's not. It's not reconcilable. This is going to end badly. Because, and also because Shayna's type of Christianity is the kind of Christianity I wouldn't even be friends with. She, like, doesn't believe in evolution. I think she might even be a young earth creationist.
I just believe science.
God is science.
Ooh, no. That's all I have to say on that. I'm all for whatever belief system works for you, what gives you comfort and joy and helps you with life. I genuinely do believe that there is something spiritual in all human beings, something of a belief, a philosophy, a connection, or something. I genuinely do believe that as human beings we need a guiding principle, I guess. And for each person that is different. For each person that will be different, and it may change over the course of your life. You know, I don't think I ever believed in God, but there was a period of time when I was like a hardcore atheist, one of them anti-theist atheists, you know, the type. Ugh, I'm not proud of it. I've grown. And now I walk my own spiritual path. So I'm fine with the fact that she is a Christian. It's the no evolution kind that I have an issue with, because like that's like not believing in gravity or history or evidence. It's bad. And she clearly knows that that's a problem. She is saying that that's a real big problem. And Kyle initially is like, that's a big problem, but he then thinks, why not? Why am I being scared? Let's go for it. And okay, that's the sort of thing you say about like a haircut or a new color of lipstick or a clothing piece that you're unsure about or a new type of food that you want to try. It's not something you say about a long-term committed relationship, i.e. marriage. I'm all for like, why be afraid? Go for it. When it comes to things that won't have long-term lasting effects on your life, but marriage is a huge deal and should perhaps be taken a little bit more seriously, Kyle. And he is so excited when she says yes, and she looks so unexcited. Oh, it's a train wreck waiting to happen. And honestly, that's why we watch these types of shows, isn't it? Oh, I hate Shane. Oh, I hate Shane so much. Oh, I hate him so much. Oh, I hate him so much. Anyway, I think this is when he proposes to Natalie, or like Shayna comes back and is like, can we get back together? And he's like, no. And it's obviously not because of feelings. It's obviously because he knows he can't manipulate her. Obviously. I say obviously like I'm some sort of psychic, but like that's where I'm sitting. That's my feelings on the matter. I believe that he is less interested in a genuine relationship and more interested in the kind of relationship where he can control the other party. And that's what I'm seeing, and I am so worried for Natalie. I hope she's okay. I really hope they don't get married. I really, really hope they don't get married. And I really hope that she's okay. And I hope Shane steps on Lego and stubs his toe and always has an ingrown hair. I try not to wish really bad things on people. Just the kind of things that are really, really not nice. That's my belief system. That's something I fundamentally believe. I try not to speak into existence really bad things, because whatever I say, I should really want to actually happen. And what I really want to actually happen is that man steps on Lego at least every second Sunday for the rest of his life. Oh, he does it again. He comes in and he starts talking all this like, this time he's all romantic. He's all like, oh, this is how we were supposed to meet. And because he thinks it's Natalie, because he can't tell the difference, because they only say hi and he can't tell the difference between their voices, which is unfortunate. I'm not going to blame him for that one, actually. I think if people say hi and they have very similar pitched voices, it can be difficult. My grandparents can't tell the difference between me and my mum on the phone, so I'm actually going to not blame Shane for that one. He's still a terrible person. We still hate him, but this particular instance is not his fault. And I guess when they are called into the pods, when they go into the pods, they don't know who they're going to meet. I don't know if they see everyone. It seems like initially they see everyone, and then after a while they start to book certain people in at certain times. So you can be seeing just 2 or 3 of the full group of people, however many that is. I can't even remember at this point. But you don't necessarily, like, unless you called to book it, you don't necessarily know who you're going to see. I guess for the drama. Right, so the episode ends with Shayna, who in the episode we've just seen get engaged to Kyle. However, it is possible that this didn't actually happen right after she got engaged to Kyle. because like we're not told times or dates or days or anything like that. And of course they could lie about that anyway. So I don't know if she just got engaged to Kyle. If she did, then this is a weird move. Kind of a dick move, one might say. But anyway, she goes to Shane and she says, I have real deep feelings for you. And that's when the episode ends. We don't see the full conversation. So, but like if she hasn't been engaged to Kyle, then again, it's weird that she got engaged to Kyle after saying this. And she's clearly very upset. She had a failed engagement. And it sounds like, you know, he was a terrible person. And so it's good that they didn't get married, but she's got a lot of like, I don't want to make another mistake, which is like, why then did you say yes to Kyle when you know your feelings aren't that strong and you know you have strong feelings for someone else who you also know has been like, I just don't think you're ready to date. It seems like you're pulled towards people who are bad for you right now, and you want to make the right choices, but you're just not in the headspace to. And that's fine. That's okay. You don't have to. Like, I think it's okay for her to be single right now, and I think she probably deserves to take care of herself right now. But unfortunately, she is on a dating show, the dating show where you have to propose after 10 days. And if you don't get a proposal, as the women, because only the men propose. So as a woman, if you don't get a proposal, then you don't get to stay on the dating show. And I guess there's a reason to stay on the dating show other than dating, other than marriage. I don't want to say it, but it's followers. It's followers. It's money and followers. It's for the influencer clout. We all know it. We all know it. But like, I want to say it. I don't want to be like, oh, she's getting engaged to someone just because like, I don't think that's true. I think she is like genuinely like emotionally like torn. I mean, obviously people are also on this for the influencers. It's for the clout. It's for the clout. But like, I think a lot of people do get into relationships and get engaged because they just want someone to be with. They don't want to, they're so scared of being alone. And being alone, they say, in a committed long-term relationship. But okay, but seriously, being alone is not the end of the world. I'm not in this relationship because I'm scared of being alone. I'm in this relationship because I love being with him. You know, it's a big difference. It might seem subtle, but it is a huge difference. I enjoy my life more with him in it. I enjoy it when he is added to my life. He is the delicious chocolate sauce upon my wonderful life sundae. You know, it should be a beautiful addition and not a necessity, and not a terrifying thing to not have. That's what I think. And that's probably, I have my mum to thank for that. My mum's been single my whole life, as far long as I can remember. And she is a wonderful, happy, fulfilled human being. She has done so many things. She is constantly learning. She is my inspiration. She is beautiful and amazing, and I love her so much, and she's so cool, and she is single. And that's fine, you know? It would be nice to have someone else in her life to share her life with, but it is not the be all and end all. And I think a lot of people are lacking that perspective, because we do push it. We push a romantic relationship on people. I mean, we have all these dating shows about romantic relationships. We kind of push this narrative that you are not a full person without a romantic relationship in your life. And that's simply not true. That's simply not true. You are a full, realized person all on your own. And everyone else who comes into your life are beautiful additions. That's what they should be. Your friends, your family, your pets, even when they piss on your carpet. They should be sprinkles and nuts and sauces, but not the base sundae. You are the sundae. And with that, I leave you. Thanks for watching this video. This on and off rant sesh. It's been a long time since I've done a full face of makeup. My lipstick is patchy. My contour is it's not fully blended. My foundation doesn't really match my skin tone, I think. And my eye makeup is smudged. Plus, there's something wrong with the eyebrows. I feel it. I feel it. But I'm happy. I'm still happy. I feel beautiful in it. I'm like, ooh, my eyes are sparkly and my lips are a fun color. Ooh. So thank you for putting up with this. Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for watching this video. Please leave a like. If you want to leave a comment, tell me about your feelings about this show. And tell me what benign but still very unhappy things you want to happen to Shane, such as, you know, bonking his elbow on every door he goes through for the next 10 years, or until he learns to true love. And please subscribe if you would like to see more. I'm a real YouTuber. Bye!